How's it going, everybody? That was just my Jacob impression. What's going on? Nick Daniels here, yet again, on break, sitting in the car. A little bit of facial hair finally. Rogaine, how you doing? So this is a video that, again, gonna upload about a week later, so there could be some updates here, but if there is, we'll get to those later. Or I could just edit them in, whatever. So recently I discovered, or I came to my senses, more or less, that I'm getting ripped off on my phone bill, and I'm going to explain to you why. So my provider was Virgin Mobile, and I say was. There's a reason for that. So Virgin Mobile, I noticed that I would get like a text message for like my bill, right? My bill would come in, you know, shit, right? So text message, how you doing? Okay, that's cool. Like, you know. And then I'd get like, I usually get like an email or something, and it'd be one of those two things. Normally not the email, no, actually normally it's just a text message saying, hey member, you got a bill. So what I would do is I'd leave it for like a week, you know, your bills due, whatever, and then sometimes it would remind me, like they'd send me another text telling me that the bill was in. But what they would start doing is they would just start calling me a couple of times a day. So I noticed that I would get multiple phone calls from them per day, so usually about 3. And it was just the same number calling me over and over again, and I'd usually just end up picking up. Hello, they haven't said anything yet. Hello, keep saying hello, waiting for them. Finally someone would come on, say my name wrong, with this really thick accent, and they'd, you know, no offense to them there, but and then all they do is spew off about how I owe them money, and they haven't received the payment. One time I already made the payment, right? Oh, we have not got it yet, sir. Well, it's already been made. When was it made? And I told him, I was like, here's the date, here's the time, this is what time it was paid, there you go. Okay, well, you know, if you don't pay us, if we don't receive it by this date, you'll be deactivated. Alright, whatever. And then one of them, you know, hey, how you doing? We have not received your payment. I think I just hung up. And then I got a text message after saying that I agreed to make sure the payment was in by this date or I'll be deactivated. It's like, no, I didn't tell him that. Once they started calling me 3 times a day, I actually asked for their manager a number of times because I said this was just getting ridiculous. I'm like, you don't have to keep calling me multiple times a day if I owe you a phone bill for like a couple days or a week or whatever it was. You know, there's no reason to call me 3 times in a day. Once would be enough. I'm like, dude, I'm working, I'm eating supper, whatever. I'm always just getting calls. Okay, like this is just ridiculous. And they just continued anyway. So eventually I told them, I said, if you call me one more time today, I said, I'm just going to switch providers. And I think that'll be the end of that. And sure enough, they did, and I switched providers. So I ended up, and there was another reason, it's because I was just paying too much money for what I was getting. I was paying, after taxes, is about $55, $58 a month. And it was 500 minutes Canada-wide per month. Okay, and you get like your voicemail and whatever, caller display and all that. And I got unlimited texting. That was it. You know, I know people are getting that deal with like a gig of data, and they're paying less. So I ended up going because I don't really text very often, and by often I mean basically not at all. It's pretty much non-existent. I text a very like small amount, and it's easily just could be, hey, I'll send you a quick Facebook message. So my problem with that was that, like I said, I was paying too much, but I needed a cheaper option. So I went to 2 store locations, the Source, and I went to TELUS. At the Source, I still owed $300 on the phone. It's a Galaxy Samsung 5. I haven't actually had it for that long, but I just figured even if I paid the $300 and I went for something really cheap, it would make the money up in no time, which I'm right, and we'll get into that in a second. So I went to the Source, and I noticed that the customer service level there is very low because there's not much they can actually do for you at a store level, apparently. They just send you online. What about this? Well, we can send you online. What about that? Oh, you have to call in. So there's really nothing you can actually do. That's astonishing. But if you go to buy a new phone and like set up a plan and everything, they are more than happy to help you. Holy crap, let's get this guy set up in 2 minutes, and we're gonna walk you out of here with a new phone and a 3-year contract at $60 a month. There you go. And I think that's quite ridiculous. It's just a lot of money, you know, for something you probably don't need. So Yeah, I asked him, I said, what is the lowest that pay-as-you-go would go with you guys? And he said $35. That's what he told me. $35 a month. That's the lowest we would give you. Basically, what gets what you have now. You know, and then he's like, well, I don't really recommend it where you're not paying that much more. You know, you're not really saving much. Maybe just wait till the 300's done, and then go for that. I said, okay, thanks. I'm gonna go somewhere else and look. No problem. So I walked down a couple businesses down the hallway in the mall, and there's TELUS. Now it's funny, actually, I walked in originally, and Buddy's sitting there with his girlfriend and some other chick, and they're just sitting there drinking ice caps. So I ended up just walking by. I'm like, I don't want to disturb you. I can tell that's his girlfriend, clearly. You know, but it's like, listen, I'm not gonna bug you. I'm gonna wait because I'm a paying customer, and she's just standing there loitering. So when I actually originally had gone down to the source, I actually got the same thing. It was one guy who was working, and his girlfriend was just standing there as customers were walking around, and then he left to go serve them, and she just stood at the counter waiting. And it's like, dude, I don't do that. Like, if your girlfriend is just gonna stand there at your work, like, I just feel like I'm wasting her time or something. Like, so I'm just gonna come back. So I did anyway. So I came back to the guy, and anyways, they were still there, but there was a chick working, and she ended up helping me. And I said, listen, this is what I'm looking to do. She goes, okay, we'd have to buy a SIM card, $23, and then you'd have to go online. Oh, yeah, you do it all online. That's all she told me. I have no idea what I'm actually supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go, and what I don't know. But I did get something. I said, listen, what's the cheapest you'd be able to give me for a plan, pay as you go? And she said, okay, well, 25 is the cheapest. I said, what's really the cheapest? And she goes, oh, well, that'd actually be $10 for the starter plan. I said, let's take it. Starter plan gets you 50 minutes of non-long distance calling. So for me, I'd get like here to like, well, from where I'm currently, but like where I was at the time, I'd get from like there like 30 minutes away. That's perfect. I'm like, dude, I don't even do long distance calling. I'm like, that's what I need. So that's it. I get 50 minutes of that, and I get 30 text messages, which I think might be receiving and sending per month. That will come out now to after tax, which is like $11.50 a month. If you do the math for 1 year of $11.50 a month, okay, it adds up to like $128, I think it was. Okay, so you get $128 a year is what my phone bill will now come out to. Okay, perfect. If you take the $55, I think is what I did, $55 times by a year, right, with what I was paying, okay, and it adds up to like a ridiculous amount, okay, and you add on the $300 I've paid, that I'll be paying here in a few days, which again we'll get into in a second, so $300 to fully own the phone, okay, and the difference of those two numbers, there's a lot, okay, like it still worked out to like $100 or $200 that I'd work out to in the end that I'd be saving. So like that's what I'm saying. Like if I start, like it's just to start like today, right? Did I start today at $11 a month from now for a year, or if I continued to pay the $58, the difference of those two numbers, right? Even minus the full $58 or the $300, sorry, right? I still walk out with a decent amount of difference that I'm saving. So yeah, again, like we're talking like over $40 in savings a month right there, and that adds up a year. That's a lot. So anyway, when I put the new SIM card in, though, it said that my device was network locked or something like that. Basically what it means is it's still on the it's still locked by Virgin. Now the way to get out of that is I actually have to wait for the bill to come in to pay, which will be like, again, $300 and whatever dollars, little over $300. It's like $313, and that bill hasn't come out yet, so I have to wait for that. So I have no texting and calling for a little while until that comes through, and then if that doesn't go through, I think you actually have to call up Virgin and then be like, hey, listen, there's a code I have to type in, what is it, and then we can move forward. I guess too many incorrect attempts will lock your device or something, and I don't want that. So I have my cell phone, I just don't have texting and calling, and that is not an issue. Trust me, I don't have any urge to text or call. But I had to set up a new number, which is kind of annoying. So overall, I think this experiment's gone pretty well, and I'm kind of stoked with the results. I'm really looking forward to having a cheaper phone bill and maybe a company that won't fucking spam the shit out of me. It was funny when I had called up and I wanted to do this in the first place. She asked for the account number, and the account number that I have apparently is the wrong account number because it's a longer version. And I'm like, well, I don't have a shorter version. She goes, well, do you have an online, do you do like the online account business? And I was like, no, I just use this online account number and that's it. That's all I've ever used. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, what was your last bill? And I told her, and she said, apparently I got it wrong. When did you pay it? I said, told her. She says, oh, no, that's not the right date. You know, and she was trying to verify somehow that it was my device that I'm calling her on. And it's like, man, this is just ridiculous. I'm like, you know, I'm sorry that I didn't have like 128.70 cents on March 31st at, you know, 9:34 p.m. I was like, oh, I paid like $120 the other day. You know, it was like 2 days ago. You know, didn't like any of that. I told her, I then had to go into my phone logs and tell her the last people I've called to confirm I even own the phone. I was like, man, this is just fucking ridiculous. But anyway, that's going to be it there, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my. And I think we're just going to, we're going to shut her down. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody. And up here, paying a lot less for my phone bill. Nice.